was young and aspiring assistant animator at the point when the war in ex-Yugoslavia broke the whole country to bits. So my friend packed up her little Volkswagen Beetle, her old-timer, half broken. He could not climb uphill, on its own. You had to push it, help it along, and things like that. She told me, if you want, lots of people are going to Amsterdam. If you want, you can come along with me. We see what happens, because life at that point in Zagreb was horrible. There were air raids all the time, like pretty much every 2 hours you had an air raid, and you never knew where it was going to hit, what was going to hit. Amsterdam looked like a box of cookies. It was just the nicest thing I could have seen. It looked great. Everybody was smiling on the streets, and it was just great. The story goes, we had a friend living in this one really big squat in Amsterdam. We were looking for him. We went straight there, and that's where the squatting story began. It's very hard to describe how that felt. We first of all, culture shock from coming from an Eastern European country into a Western European country. But then, coming from your normal apartment with the central heating, with all the normal things that you take for granted. Suddenly, the squat we came in used to be a grain factory. Nazis built it. It was built in Second World War. It was a factory. It was not ever meant to be lived in. So, mainly, it was an artist colony, the place. People were just living there and working at the same time. There was a lot of performance art, a lot of music, a lot of concerts. We would organize parties, and the money, they mostly were benefit parties. That money collected would either go for fixing up the building, for buying some equipment to make better parties, or for somebody who needed medical treatment or things like that. It was a very different way of life, very different way. We lived in this amazing tower, 8 floors tall. Basically, it was built around the machine. It was built to house a machine for drying grain, I think it was drying. There were these pipes and boxes, metal, huge machinery, just these clockwork mechanisms on the wall. It looked really surreal. It was rather beautiful. And I must say, how people made it livable, how it was made, it was just like, fairy tale. Look, some places were just, it would take your breath away, because the amount of space everybody had in there, it was amazing. And I think it got utilized to its best potential. The life was getting increasingly difficult, mainly due to my legal status in the country. Now, what that meant was that I would apply for a residence permit, I would get refused, then I would have to reapply. So we had to leave, had to go somewhere, and the question was where to go. And the solution presented itself through, of course, friends of ours who were Scottish, and they used to live in Amsterdam, then they moved back to Scotland, and they helped my husband around finding a job. He was looking for a house for us that we could just move in with our 8 cats. And he did that. We managed. We ended up in a little town called Musselburgh. We mind you, we almost got killed the first day when we got out on the street to go do some shopping. We looked to the left to cross the road and almost got run over by a car. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock on top of shocks of just having to live in a normal house all of a sudden. However, it was nice to have central heating, bathroom.
Good.
Just, you know, we got on with normal life. What else?